I think moving forward, it is that viability point. It's the additional funding that we'd really like to see in, and we are seeing, so that 39 billion to help move things forward in that way. To say these schemes are absolutely fantastic, so we are as close as you can be. The only difference is we've got individual boilers in each of the homes, and that's the only deviation, rather than a central energy centre for these pieces. That's the only difference. The internal wall thickness and everything else are built to that standard.
Hello, I'm Toby Fox from 1.5 Million New Homes, the local government challenge sponsored by Red Loft and by Lovell. And I'm visiting a different council every month to find out what works and what needs to change to get more homes built. And this month, I'm in the London borough of Enfield. And I've come to meet Aneesh Maini, who's head of development at Enfield Council, to talk about one of the council's small site schemes.
Hi, I'm Aneesh. I'm the head of development at Enfield Council. I brought you here to Bury Street West, which is our 50-home development completed in 2022. It's a lovely family home development. We've got a range of 2 to 4 bedroom houses here, a mix of private and affordable homes. Every house here has its own parking space. Some have 2. You've got EV charging points across the development as well, and all the schemes are built at a very high sustainability standard, so almost passive house of what we've managed to achieve on this development. It's been an absolute success for us as a council. We've managed to, as part of this, transform an old depot site into some lovely family homes, and also provide connections from the Bury Street West Road down there to the Bury Lodge wetlands that we've got to the left-hand side. So, yeah, we're really proud of this as our...
You've opened up a sort of green space that wasn't previously accessible, as well as providing all these homes.
Exactly.
So what was the role of the council in delivering that success? What did you have to do in order to make it so good?
So we worked a lot of our consultants to deliver an exciting and vibrant scheme to kind of deliver on our family homes commitment. A lot of this was down to the contamination of the land that we had previously down here, and making sure that was all kind of cleared before a contractor came in. And we did a lot of that kind of work through ourselves to help deliver the scheme. The wetlands that you see on the left-hand side was fully delivered by our in-house council housing team as well. So we've really tried to be as involved in this scheme as possible.
When you say the wetlands were delivered, well, what does that actually mean in practical terms?
They came here, they dug it up. The contractors had left this level for our in-house team to come in, and they, as you'll see, they've planted all this area out. They've provided this bench that we're sitting on here today. They put all the trees up, and they really helped to kind of deliver this part of the scheme in conjunction with the homes as well. So a real collaborative effort between what we can do in-house and what we can do with contractors as part of our delivery.
And so presumably you'd like to repeat this sort of development all over Enfield. What's stopping you?
So at the moment, it's viability, I think. So the 1.5 million homes target that we have is a target that we all really aspire to, and we're really motivated in Enfield to achieve that. We do need to make sure that family homes are part of that overall package. So you're just seeing we've got a lot of our estate regen sites, our large tower blocks that we're delivering and successfully delivering, but this is a critical part of that overall pipeline. The challenge at the moment is viability. So it's getting a scheme of this nature viable and affordable for us as a council to deliver, with the right level of support from government, to then meet our housing needs. Our housing needs is vast in Enfield, and what this scheme it has provided on top of the 2 to 4 bedroom family homes that we've got is also a number of wheelchair accessible homes as well. And those have been really successful for our residents, and given some residents a new lease of life in terms of they're outgoing in Enfield.
So the government would say, I imagine, we've given you as a country £39 billion to do more of this. Why isn't that enough, or is it?
It's a definitely a step in the right direction. We very much welcome the announcements from government and the 10-year social affordable homes programme that they've pitched to local authority. What I would say is a lot of that in the past grants have been linked to a home, so you get a set amount of grant for a home. Linking that more into kind of your habitable room basis, so having it as a grant attributed to a habitable room in development would really help deliver your 3s and your 4 beds, as you'll see here.
Can you explain the maths of that for a layman?
So say for example, if you've got X amount of grant for a home, it will cost you the same amount of money as a developer or as a council to deliver a 1 bed as it would to deliver. So you get the same amount of grant from a 1 bed as you would for a 4 bed. If it was on a habitable room basis, the metrics would change, so you'd have slightly more grant than attribute to those 4 bed houses, and
perhaps 4 times as much
potentially, and that would help deliver those types of homes moving forward. So that's where the real difference could be made, realistically. Not to say that would be the only solution. We need to make sure we've got training, we've got SME contractors and the like that would be interested, because these type of schemes are great for those types of contractors that we could work with. But it'd definitely be a step in the right direction for us.
Would you class this as a small site?
This is probably on the preference side. I'd say you're at 50 homes, you're kind of getting closer to your kind of medium type of site, but we are engaging with some SMEs, and these type of schemes are they are interested in. So yes, it's a.
So let's explore both of those. I want to ask you about SME contractors and the local contractor market, but also about your small sites programme, because it's another weapon that Enfield has in the battle to provide more homes. What is your small sites programme, and how ambitious is it?
So our small sites programme is ambitious. We've got a real mix of kind of our own sites in the borough. A lot of garage infill sites like this, which were heavily contaminated, that we can remediate and get into a position where we can deliver kind of family homes. And they are critical in terms of providing space and enough of an area for those family homes to be delivered. So we've got a very healthy small sites programme that would love to work with government on to help deliver and help unlock.
Can you give us an idea of the scale?
Is it probably? We've at least got around 50 that we're
50
that we're currently looking at.
And what's the variety of scale within that?
So it's a range between very, very small, kind of 4 homes can fit on a site, up to kind of your 50 to 60, some depending on kind of capacity up to 70.
And are they all deliverable in your mind? So they're all kind of relatively equal priority, or are some easier to get away with?
Some are easier than others, as you'd get on a lot of sites. So some will have it. Every site's got this challenge in terms of delivery, but some will have more challenges in terms of infrastructure, in terms of delivery, than others. And that's what we're kind of working through at the moment in terms of our piece.
And what sort of help do you need specific to small sites to get those away, compared to the huge schemes like Meridian Water and the Alma Estate and Cruise Hill and so on?
So I'd say it's kind of that early feasibility work as well. So if we can work with government to get surveys underway, get a real feel for what, as you see with this site, the contamination side, what do we really need to do to help unlock it before we enter into a build scheme, that'll give us confidence to go to government saying this site's up and ready. We know we've done the appropriate amount of due diligence work on this to make it deliverable. So that additional feasibility work would really help support.
And how much are you making use of digital tech in order to enable you to do things like feasibility studies on small sites?
So we're using that quite broadly in the council. We use a lot of our kind of internal pieces. I'm not an AI expert or things like that, but I think that's probably where the industry's going to some degree, in terms of using AI to help deliver or to help those things into practice. A lot of the stuff is on the ground though. Construction always is, so it's not necessarily just what you can do from a tech perspective. It's also having the capacity and the resource in the industry to do what we need to do to get things moving.
What role do SME contractors have in delivering those small sites for you in your mind? Is it all about SMEs, or are they a small part of it? So
for sites like this, they'll be a very critical part for us. We would absolutely love to, are looking to engage with SME contractors to help our overall pipeline. We appreciate the local labour they can provide, the social value benefits they also can give to developments like this, and just helping an industry or a subsection of the industry that have been heavily hit in the recent years through.
Well, let's dig into that. How can you help them? Because SME contractors find it really difficult to be procured by the council. The procurement processes are difficult, they're expensive, they're lengthy, they require covenants that small companies don't necessarily provide. So is there something in procurement that you can do as a council to support them?
it wouldn't be just procurement. It would be giving SMEs the pipeline of delivery to make those challenges kind of be a lot more palatable and help them engage in those processes and get on those frameworks to be appointed moving forward. And that's kind of where early engagement with SMEs, giving us and them confidence that there is a pipeline that we can deliver, government are supporting us in that pipeline, let's crack on, let's do this, will really help with that piece. I think that's the first step in the right direction, really.
So what should an SME do? Is there's someone out there running a small contractor or part of the supply chain, what should they be doing now in order to start that engagement process?
So I'd say, firstly, keep an eye on what government are kind of announcing in terms of the Affordable Homes Programme. But we would very much love to engage with them. We'd love to have that dialogue. We've got a lot of forums in which we do that. At the moment, and we also engage with RPs and boroughs as well. So we would welcome the opportunity for SMEs to come to us and say, look, what is Enfield's ambition? How can we help? What can we deliver? And we will work collaboratively with them.
So what's stopping contractors, SMEs, getting more involved in your programme?
So there's a range of things. I think one of the items that I've spoken to SMEs about is training and is the pipeline of delivery that enables that training to happen. And that we need young people in the industry. We need people who are coming in, ambitious, want to deliver, and we need the training facilities behind us to be able to enable that. And that is a critical part, I think, of the overall piece.
So what would you like to see the construction industry doing in order to build up that pipeline of trainees and that future workforce to deliver your homes programme?
I think we need to shout about it more.
Shout?
I think that there are a lot of people that want to become kind of your site manager, to become construction managers in the industry from a contractor side. We need to demonstrate there is so much more to construction than your site manager and your development manager and things. That there's every subcontractor that's part of that as well. And each of those trades need resource to be able to deliver these homes. Without that, we're not going to be able to do things like this moving forward. And it's talking about that and that skill shortage and delivering against those ambitions that we really need to make sure we're highlighting and providing those courses or those training facilities to be able to do that with.
And what's the role of the council in that education piece?
And so I think that's where we use our social value, and that's where SMEs can be quite helpful and quite important as part of that overall piece, because they are local, they can engage with local people, and they will engage with local people a lot more readily, and that can help address that skill shortage and bring local labour into developments like this and really provide a vibrant atmosphere.
So when you say use your social value, we're talking about the bidding process to get involved in a scheme includes an element of the contractor saying, we will provide a certain number of training places or a certain number of apprenticeships, and you say that has a value in the bid, and you make sure that they get marked up in the bidding process as a result.
But also then seeing how that fits in longer term. And make sure that it's not just stopping at that point, and there are routes for delivery for those apprentices that do want to then provide that career progression, rather than stop after 2 years because the development's going to complete. It's that longevity in social value that we need to make sure that we're linking in as part of this.
So you mentioned that this scheme is almost passive house. What's the difference between almost passive house and passive house, and why is it difficult to bridge that gap, and why not just do it passive house?
So the history behind this scheme was it was started to be delivered in 2019 and was completed in 2022. That was the height of COVID, and the height of kind of the cost inflation that we saw. So we did have an intention as a council to deliver it as passive house, and have all sorts of meetings part of that. And that was unfortunately something we had to scale back on through delivery.
Just because the costs had gone up
because
so
of viability,
much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think moving forward, it is that viability point. It's the additional funding that we'd really like to see in, and we are seeing for that 39 billion to help move things forward in that way. To say these schemes are absolutely fantastic. So we are as close to passive as you can be. The only difference is we've got individual boilers in each of the homes, and that's the only deviation, rather than a central energy centre for these pieces. That's the only difference. The internal thickness and everything else are built to that standard.
And what are your ambitions in terms of sustainability in the design of homes going forward?
So that similar to this really is building homes to a high sustainable standards where we've got increased thickness walls, we've got real good insulation, real good kind of energy outputs to help our residents in terms of their bills, because warmer homes originally mean less heating, and yeah, our overall ambition in terms of delivery. And that also counts for your kind of triple glazed windows and things like that we also look to deliver on homes such as this.
Aneesh, thank you very much for your role in getting 1.5 million new homes built.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So that's it for another episode of 1.5 Million New Homes, the local government challenge, sponsored by Red Loft and Lovell. We're going to be back with more from Enfield in a couple of days. But until then, hit like, hit subscribe. You won't miss any of those episodes. And we'll look forward to seeing you next time.